Okay, so those two shells on top are culls from when I was setting up my seating. On the left, we've got number 7 from the big target, and I'll flash the data on the screen. The next 10 is number 6, and I'll flash that data on the screen. We've got 28 at number 3, and I'll decide if I shoot a 10-shot group and it's ugly, I'll stop. If I shoot a 10-shot group and it's beautiful, I'll finish and shoot a 20-shot group. And this is the final load development of the RMR. I reduced my charge weight. It was just, that was too hot. Some of these have a little bit of a loose primer pocket, and they all had a pretty solid ejector mark on them, and that's just too much pressure. So I'm reducing my pressure a little bit, and it will reduce the velocity, and it'll also change the way they mark. So I might end up doing this whole thing again, but I doubt it'll change that much. So we'll just shoot them and see what they do. I've cleaned the gun. I just shot a match with this thing today, so I've cleaned the gun and I've put one fouling shot through it, and we're gonna go ahead and get to it. Okay, there's the brass. We've got old ejector mark, new ejector mark. Maybe other way around. This one's got a little bit of a dent. This one's just a little smear. So at 25.0 to 25.1 grains, I threw these charges because that's eventually what I want this load to be, is something I can just throw charges within a grain, or I mean within 1/10 or 2/10 of a grain, and get within 1.5 inch groups. So about a minute and a half, somewhere in there, so I can shoot to 500 or 600 yards with these. So I'm loading these to how I'm planning to shoot them. Looks like our pressure is mostly back under control, and nice little flat primers, not too flat, nothing out of the ordinary. So I'm gonna let this barrel cool down, and we will shoot the next round in a little while. We're shooting these at 100. I've got a 6 power scope on this thing, so I'm shooting at 2 MOA dots, so that way I can kind of just center the dot of this reticle into the circle out there. And then of course this is an Anderson lower that I put together. I did a trigger job on this trigger. I have bought a radical upper, put a matched stainless barrel in it. It's just a run-of-the-mill AR, so we're just kind of trying to dial. It's an 18-inch barrel with a rifle length gas system, so I'm just kind of trying to dial this thing. So I've got a 600-yard target plinking rifle with a super cheap plinking round for ammo. So because all told, I bought these bullets for the price I paid for them. Brass, I have a membership at the gun club, and I pretty much get for free. I pick it up here all the time. Powder is powder. I bought a couple 8-pound canisters of it. Primers are 7 cents a piece, and so basically I have a round that costs 25 or 30 cents per round to shoot, and to have that shoot about 1.5 minutes at 600 yards would be pretty darn cool, because at 600 yards my 11-inch plate is right around about 1.5 minutes. So that would be pretty darn cool. Pretty darn cool. All right, come back at ya. Okay, so there's loading number 6. There's loading number 7. Number 7 did a little better last time. Number 6 did a little better this time. 10-shot groups, those look good. I'm really happy with those being right next to each other. So that looks good. We'll shoot number 3. If it looks good after 10, we'll shoot a 20 of number 3, because remember, that was the one that was like bullet holes touching. So we'll see if that was a fluke or not right now. But this is kind of proof in the pudding right here that seating depth matters. So good to go here. Okay, so not terrible for number 3, but not exactly what it did before. I mean, a guy could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shoot a 5-shot group like that and go, wow, this thing's incredible. But unless you go and shoot the 10 or the 20, you'll just never know. So number 3 was a fluke. And even still, that would be a very narrow node. These were not flukes, so We're gonna move forward. I'll pull this. I'm not gonna shoot a 20. That already told me everything I need to know. We're out of here.